We've reached 80% self-sufficiency for all of our food needs, and our polytunnels have played a massive role in that. They allow us to not only extend both ends of the season, but also grow heat-loving plants we normally would struggle to grow in our temperate climate.
We've been learning how to live more self-sufficiently over the last 7 years, and growing food is a really big part of this. We do grow quite a lot of our staple crops outside, like pumpkins and main crop potatoes, but having polytunnel space to grow in has been a real game changer for the type of crops that we can grow, and also for extending our growing season when we're in a temperate climate like the UK.
In this video, we're going to be sharing 7 must-know tips if you want to be growing successfully in a polytunnel for self-sufficiency.
Number 1 is about frost, and polytunnels are not frost-proof. On a cold, clear winter's night, the cool air will still settle inside the polytunnel and temperatures will dip below freezing. In the nighttime in winter, the ambient temperature inside the polytunnel will still likely be the same as outside, and so any tender or young plants will still possibly need extra protection. We use fleece or thermocrop with hoops to protect some of our crops that need a little extra warmth on the colder nights. Polytunnels do, however, offer really good protection from cold winter winds, the rain, hail and snow. And when there is sunshine, it will warm up a lot quicker in the polytunnel, even in winter. And again, this will help promote faster growth.
Number 2 is water consumption. And if you're not on the mains, water consumption is probably one of the biggest factors in having a polytunnel. They dry out much faster because of the heat than growing in the soil outside. And many of the crops you're likely to grow during the summer, like cucumbers and tomatoes, need constant moisture to grow properly. Large IBC tanks, rain harvesting setups and mulching the soil will make a massive difference. We use a combination of pumping water from a well, water we've stored in tanks over winter when we have a lot of rainfall, which we've harvested from the roofs around here, and also drip lines, which are submerged into the soil, which help to evaporate or help to minimise evaporation, should I say. And lastly, mulching the soil as well really helps to lock in that moisture down in the soil to stop it evaporating on those really hot days. To give you an idea, for each of our 54-foot polytunnels, we water 3 times a week in the summer, and it uses at least a standard garden water butt or more for each watering.
Number 3 is excessive heat. And in the summer, polytunnels can turn into a furnace with temperatures reaching beyond 40 degrees Celsius, which can stress or even kill plants. So you'll need to plan for good ventilation. Roll-up sides, shade netting or wider doors will all help. We learnt this the hard way over the last couple of summers after we made a slight adjustment to our door, which dramatically reduced the airflow of our polytunnel, and our tomato harvests have been hugely reduced ever since. So this winter we plan on widening the doors of our tunnels to help the heat escape and also to increase the airflow, and we hope this is going to increase our production again.
Number 4 is fitting your polytunnel plastic cover in the summer, and here's why. The plastic becomes much looser in hot weather, so if you fit your cover in the winter, it may be drum tight when you first fit it, but come the warm weather of summer and it will start sagging and flapping. So if at all possible, fit it in the summer, so in the winter it's going to be extra tight, but in the summer it's not going to go all baggy and flap around as much. This one, like most of the points, come from our own personal experience. We actually covered these in mid-winter, and luckily we do have frames which have adjusters on the bottom so we can pull them up a bit, but it would have made a big difference to us if we'd done that in the summer. Number 5 is hotspot tape. Anywhere where your metal bars touch the plastic cover, over time create weak points because that metal gets very hot and the plastic where it's been touching it becomes brittle. You can see behind me on our tunnel here, this bright white is the tape that's attached to the bars. And my neighbour, who's been a market gardener for decades, has always told me that it's imperative that you cover all of the bars, including the ones going down the longitudinal length of the tunnel, because those ones, you're not often provided enough tape to do those. It's normally just to do these big hoops. So we actually brought spare rolls and did those as well, because he said that's the point that always goes first on his tunnels. And another top tip is, going into tip 4 again, is doing this whole process of tape and cover in the summer is a really good idea. Because as you can see behind me, much of our hotspot tape, where I did that in winter and it was damp, although I tried my hardest to dry the bars off, it still has come away a bit over time.
Number 6 is cleaning. The plastic covers of your polytunnel will naturally attract dirt, dust, algae and general plant matter over the course of the year, both inside and out. As the dirt and grime builds up, it will gradually decrease the sunlight that's coming through to your plants, and that will slow down the plant growth. We generally give our tunnels a good clean once a year, both inside and out, to keep the sunlight levels up as high as possible. Now, ideally, I would say if you've got smaller tunnels, if you can clean them twice a year, that would be ideal. But for us, having 3 54-foot long polytunnels, this is a really big job, but it is a really important one to keep our plants growing strongly. And when it comes to polytunnel cleaning time, we clean both the inside as well as the outside, because a lot of plant matter ends up sticking to the walls in here and dust also builds up too.
Number 7 is airflow. Good airflow through vents, doors, and even in some cases small fans can really help to keep good air circulation in your tunnel, helping your plants to transpire and reduce the risk of those mold and fungal diseases attacking your plants. Like we mentioned earlier, when we changed the design of our doors to try and stop pests getting in, it drastically reduced the airflow into our tunnels, and we've had much more breakouts of fungal diseases, and we've even had spider mite a few times, which we've never had before. So we plan to extend our doors and make them double the width later on before the growing season next year. And we really think that this is going to be a game changer to help reduce many of those problems, as well as the excess heat as well. As you might be able to tell from the dull weather and the fact you might have noticed us shivering, we're actually at the end of our growing season now. We've just had our first frosts, so between now and the spring, we're due to give our tunnels a really good clean. So you can probably see that they're going very green behind us. We've actually developed a really interesting method for cleaning the tunnels that just takes one person and is even really effective if you have no mains water supply and really low pressure like us. And we really hope that you've enjoyed seeing our 7 tips that you don't often hear many people talking about for using tunnels to grow for self-sufficiency.
If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you click the thumbs up button just down below. That really helps to get our videos seen by more people. We love chatting to you in the comments as well, so drop us any comments or questions and we'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Peace and plants. No, we can't delete this because you've left it rolling, can we? And as the dirt builds up, I'm going to film in 4K. As the dirt builds up, as the dirt and grime builds up, it will gradually reduce the sunlight, and that will, what does it do? As the dirt and grime gradually builds up, it will reduce the sunlight that's coming through to your plants, and that will, yeah, it's all the farts, by the way, that put me off.